Welcome back to the Silent Lesson Official. Most people believe that talking to yourself is a sign that something is wrong. Some even think it looks strange or lonely. But psychology tells a very different story. What if this quiet habit isn't a weakness at all? What if it's actually a sign of a sharper, more self-aware mind? Today, we're exploring 7 rare psychological traits often found in people who talk to themselves when no one else is around. By the end of this video, you may never look at this habit the same way again. Trait 1. Higher self-awareness. Have you ever caught yourself saying, "Why did I do that?" while you're completely alone? In that moment, something powerful happens. Instead of simply reacting, you begin observing your own thoughts and actions. Psychologists believe this kind of self-reflection helps people understand themselves on a much deeper level. Rather than letting emotions take control, they pause, question, and learn from their experiences. Most people go through life on autopilot, but those who regularly talk to themselves often pay closer attention to their choices, emotions, and personal growth. Their own voice becomes a mirror, helping them discover not only what they're doing, but also who they're becoming. Trait 2. Strong problem-solving ability. Have you ever noticed how some people quietly talk themselves through a difficult task? There's a reason for that. When we explain a problem out loud, our thoughts become clearer. Ideas that once felt confusing begin to organize themselves into logical steps. Psychologists refer to this as the self-explanation effect. Instead of allowing thoughts to remain scattered, speaking them aloud forces the brain to slow down and process information more carefully. Imagine trying to solve a complicated puzzle. Inside your mind, everything may seem tangled, but the moment you say each step aloud, the path forward often becomes much easier to see. That's why engineers, programmers, chess players, and many professionals are often seen quietly talking themselves through difficult problems. They're not talking because they're confused. They're talking because it helps them think more clearly. Another surprising benefit is that people who think out loud often catch their own mistakes much faster. Hearing an idea with your own ears makes flaws easier to notice than simply thinking silently. During stressful situations, this becomes an incredible advantage. While others may panic or freeze, self-talk helps organize thoughts, reduce mental overload, and focus on one step at a time. Talking to yourself doesn't automatically make you more intelligent, but it can help you use your intelligence more effectively by turning confusion into clarity one sentence at a time. Trait 3. Exceptional emotional control. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful benefits of self-talk: emotional control. Think about the last time you felt nervous before an important moment. Maybe it was a job interview, a presentation, or a difficult conversation. Most people let anxiety take over, but people who practice healthy self-talk often respond differently. Instead of saying, "I'm going to fail," they might say, "You've handled difficult situations before. Stay calm, focus on the next step." This small shift changes everything. When you speak to yourself like a supportive coach instead of a harsh critic, you create a little emotional distance between yourself and your fear. That distance makes it easier to think clearly instead of reacting emotionally. Research in psychology suggests that this kind of self-talk can reduce stress, improve performance under pressure, and help people recover more quickly after difficult situations. Rather than being controlled by fear, they learn to guide themselves through it. They acknowledge their emotions without allowing those emotions to make every decision. This doesn't mean they never feel anxious, frustrated, or disappointed. It means they don't stay trapped in those feelings. They remind themselves to breathe, to stay focused, and to keep moving forward. In many ways, their own voice becomes a trusted friend, offering encouragement exactly when it's needed most. That's one of the rare qualities of people who regularly talk to themselves. They don't simply experience their emotions, they learn how to manage them. Trait 4. Higher creativity. Creativity isn't just about painting, writing, or making music. At its core, creativity is the ability to see connections that other people often miss. And one of the most effective ways to unlock that ability is by thinking out loud. When you speak your ideas aloud, something interesting happens. Your thoughts stop racing in circles inside your mind and begin taking a clear shape. Once an idea has a voice, you can examine it, question it, improve it, or even replace it with a better one. That's why many inventors, writers, designers, and entrepreneurs often talk to themselves while they work. They're not being distracted, they're exploring possibilities. One sentence leads to another. One question creates another answer. A simple thought can suddenly grow into a completely new idea that never would have appeared if it had stayed locked inside the mind. Self-talk also allows you to look at a problem from different perspectives. You become both the person asking the question and the one searching for the answer. This internal conversation encourages curiosity, experimentation, and original thinking. The result isn't just more ideas, it's better ideas. People who regularly think out loud give their imagination room to grow. Instead of accepting the first solution that comes to mind, they keep exploring until they discover something even stronger. Sometimes, the most creative breakthrough begins with nothing more than a quiet conversation with yourself. Trait 5. Greater focus and mental performance. Many people believe that true focus means complete silence, but psychology suggests something surprising. Sometimes, your own voice can become one of the most powerful tools for improving concentration. Think about the last time you repeated a phone number until you could write it down. Or maybe you've said, keys, wallet, phone, before leaving the house. Without realizing it, you were using self-talk to keep your attention locked on what mattered. When you say a task out loud, your brain treats it as a clear instruction instead of just another passing thought. Distractions become easier to ignore. Your attention naturally returns to the goal in front of you. This is one reason athletes often repeat short phrases before a competition. Simple reminders like stay focused, keep your balance, or one step at a time help them stay mentally present under pressure. The same strategy works in everyday life. Whether you're studying, solving a difficult problem, cooking a meal, or completing an important project, talking yourself through each step can improve both accuracy and confidence. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by everything at once, your mind concentrates on the next action, one step, then the next, and then the next. People who use positive instructional self-talk often find it easier to stay focused for longer periods because they're constantly guiding their own attention back to the task. In a world filled with endless distractions, your own voice can become your personal coach, quietly reminding you where to look, what to do, and why it matters. Trait 6. Strong independence of thought. In today's world, opinions are everywhere. Social media, news headlines, comment sections, and endless advice compete for our attention every single day. It's easy to let other people's voices become louder than our own, but people who regularly talk to themselves often develop something increasingly rare: independent thinking. Before accepting someone else's opinion, they first ask themselves a simple question: does this actually make sense? Instead of following the crowd automatically, they pause, reflect, and examine the situation from different angles. They've built the habit of testing ideas against their own reasoning. That doesn't mean they believe they're always right. In fact, it's often the opposite. Because they're willing to question themselves, they're usually more open to changing their minds when new evidence appears. Their confidence doesn't come from always having the correct answer. It comes from knowing they've carefully thought things through. Healthy self-talk creates a space where ideas can be challenged without fear. It becomes a private conversation where doubts are explored, assumptions are questioned, and better conclusions are formed. Over time, this habit builds trust, not in other people's opinions, but in your own ability to think clearly. In a world constantly telling you what to believe, the ability to listen to your own reasoning is becoming one of the rarest strengths a person can have. Sometimes, the most valuable advice you'll ever hear is a conversation you have with yourself. Trait 7. A lifelong drive for personal growth. And finally, we arrive at perhaps the rarest trait of all: a constant desire to grow. If you've been following along, you may have noticed the pattern. People who talk to themselves don't simply go through life. They pay attention to it. They reflect on their experiences, learn from their mistakes, and look for ways to become a little better each day. After a difficult day, they ask themselves, what could I have done differently? Before an important challenge, they rehearse success in their minds. And after a failure, they don't stop at disappointment. They search for the lesson hidden inside it. Their self-talk isn't meaningless chatter. It's a continuous feedback loop, a quiet conversation that helps them adjust, improve, and move forward. Real personal growth rarely happens overnight. It happens through hundreds of small decisions, thousands of honest reflections, and countless moments when you choose to learn instead of giving up. People who regularly talk to themselves often treat life as an ongoing journey of improvement. They celebrate progress, accept setbacks, and continue moving forward with purpose. So the next time you catch yourself talking to yourself when no one else is around, don't be too quick to feel embarrassed. That quiet voice may not be a sign that something is wrong. It may be evidence of a mind that is constantly learning, adapting, and growing. Higher self-awareness, stronger problem solving, better emotional control, greater creativity, sharper focus, independent thinking, and an endless commitment to becoming better than yesterday. Perhaps this simple habit isn't strange after all. Perhaps it's one of the most powerful tools the human mind has ever developed. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you see yourself in a new way, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new lesson from the Silent Lesson Official. Now we'd love to hear from you. Do you talk to yourself when you're alone? And which of these 7 traits describes you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and remember, sometimes the most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself.